Ram Ramachandran. Ram is the Senior Vice President and also the Head of Middle East and Africa at Tech Mahindra. And Ram is going to share with us a very useful and an insightful session around digital dexterity. So Ram, over to you.
So much. Thanks a lot. Assalamu alaikum. On October 28th, Mark Zuckerberg made an announcement that made many of us turn our heads. He said that he's going to put the future of Facebook, the social behemoth that had been created, into this new organization called Meta. Meta would manifest physical and virtual converging together using technologies like artificial reality, immersive experiences, and virtual reality. He's talking about creating social at a very different orbit. Microsoft, the owner of our productivity, literally, they own the desktop, they own the workspace, they own our productivity, has a different take on the metaverse. They believe that it is going to be a universe that will bring people, things, and places in this ecosystem which would converge, and they are talking about a metaverse of productivity and a metaverse of community. I'm not sure how many of you noticed, but in January of this year, NVIDIA overtook Intel as the most valuable chip maker. And the CEO of NVIDIA has this vision of metaverse where he says that it's not going to be one single metaverse, but many metaverses which are going to come together in this ecosystem called Omniverse. And what's an Omniverse? You have the architecture community, the builder community, the mall operators, and the shoppers all together in one big metaverse. And what is the role that NVIDIA is going to play is it is going to provide the tools and technologies which enterprises like yours and ours would use to create the metaverse of tomorrow. Now, whatever shape it takes and the speed at which it takes, remember that there is living, there is working, and there is play. Some of these industries will catch up on metaverse early, some of them would be slow adopters, but we believe that the metaverse is going to definitely arrive within 1 to 2 years. The commerce in the world of metaverse is not going to be the check, the card, or the cash any longer. It is going to be the world of cryptos. It is going to be the world of NFTs. And it's very important for organizations to brace for this new world of meta. Now that's the world of meta which is going to stare at us maybe 1 or 2 years down. Let me take you to a different world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mahindra Batista, the world's first electric hyper GT. A beauty of a beast. It goes 0 to 100 kilometers in 2 seconds flat. That's a Formula 1 level. It goes 0 to 300 in less than 12 seconds. That's close to a McLaren F1 car. What's more, on a single charge, it gives you 500 kilometers with zero emission. Very proud to say, Pininfarina is a Tech Mahindra car. What it brings to you is a combination of form and elegance, design and technology, innovation and imagination. Since I have the luxury of having so many CIOs in the room, just a show of hands, if I were to say that we are going to launch this beautiful car sometime soon and we offer a test drive, how many of you would want to take it? Nearly the entire room. I will ask you one more question. I'll offer you the test drive on a Visor and take the test drive. How many of you would want to take it? A few, right? That's the paradox. We don't know whether meta world will ever overtake the physical world for exactly the same reason. And we believe that the future of the best organizations that would run are the ones that would combine the experiences of the physical, the virtual or the meta, and the human. And remember, human is no longer just the human, it's the living and also the bot. Right? That's what human is for the generation of today and as we are looking at the future. And the most successful products and services would be the one which hinge on customer experience. That doesn't go away. Customer experience is the root. Any product or service which you are offering to the customer needs to hinge on this basic tenet of customer experience. Second, the stickiness of the product or service would be dependent on the service level. And the longevity of that product or service is determined by the product experience and also the physical or the meta experience. Now, some of my colleagues here use the word digital first. And I don't mean to be going on a debate with IDC, but I think the notion of digital first is outdated already. COVID has shown us the organizations which were trying to play a catch-up act of digital first got left behind. We need to get into a framework, and especially led by the CEOs, we need to get into a framework of digital by design. It is not digital first anymore. Every organization needs to be digital. How do we go digital by design is going to be the most compelling question in every CEO's chamber. The organizations which would be the leaders and the ones which would be left behind, the difference will show if you are not adopting this as a strategy, right? So digital by design is an important takeaway that I would request all the CXOs to take here. And that makes the job of a CIO even tougher. The pace at which digital is coming is fast, is very fast. How do you build, right? That's the job of CIOs. How do you create an environment that is just suitable to catch on the space that which business is going to bring in ideas and thoughts? Fundamentally to this problem, the industry experience doesn't go away. And you folks lead the industry experience. Back it up to technology experience, and now there is the data experience that adds to both the industry experience and the technology experience. We believe that there are 5 technologies which will fundamentally alter the way businesses will run. And a checkpoint here. If you are not spending 80% of your change budget on these 5 technologies already, maybe you're going to lag. These technologies are cloud, artificial intelligence, 5G, blockchain, and security. In some form or the other, irrespective of the industry that you are working on, 80% of your budgets would need to go towards these technologies, otherwise you would be left behind. Let me take a small use case for a very large oil major that we work with. In a neighboring country, we are in the process of deploying cognitive AI-based agents that study the employees using human personas. Now, what does it mean? 2 years down or a year down, if this oil rig operator goes to the desert and there is an issue and he's all alone, the persona is not only following him to troubleshoot the issue, but he also knows the behavior patterns of the person. And that's the innovation that we are talking about, that CIOs will need to bring to the business so that they can function a lot better. Again, since I was challenged by the team whether I should put this slide or not, but I still went ahead and did this. There are a few tenants that we see in Middle East, and since we interact with many of you, and thanks to many of our customers who are here and having endorsed Tech Mahindra, there are still a few observations. The first observation is cloud native. We continue to hear the word cloud first as a strategy. Now, cloud first is different from being cloud native. What does cloud native mean? Cloud native means, are you fundamentally looking at your legacy stack and trying to transform it in a manner that it is going to be containerized, it is going to be virtualized, it is going to be appified? Are you running a microservices architecture at scale so that these systems can seamlessly talk to each other? So you need to create an environment where you go cloud native. At Tech Mahindra, we have invested and built an IP called Impact, managed platform for adaptive cloud computing. What it means is that you're no longer stuck with one hyperscaler or one large data center provider. Again, a very classic mistake that we see that organizations in the Middle East are making, you should never get stuck with the hyperscaler. With due respect to the hyperscalers in the room, the idea would be how you can seamlessly move across hyperscalers, move across public and private, and still maintain the efficiency, do the orchestration, do the charge back to business across infra layer, application layer, platform layer, software layer, and the experience layer, right? Open source, my pet peeve. For whatever reasons, Middle East has just not adopted open source in the way it should. All the innovations that you see, all the innovations that you talk about has been built on open source. So one single request to all the CIOs in the room, please go back to your procurement departments, have a healthy debate so that they allow open source to be adapted at scale. Because open source is driving innovation at a speed and at a need unparalleled. So if Middle East is still shy of open source, I think there's going to be a distance to be covered. Because remember, open source, there's also skill deficiency. So if you're not focusing on open source, you're not building up the skills, then it might be too late or the skills might be very expensive. Another area, just touching upon technology, agile DevOps, low code and no code. I think it's getting adopted well. What is still missing is the business uptake of agile. So how easily business is getting into the fold of adopting this is something to be watched out for. Last but not the least, the L1s, the 7-1s which keep your nights awake. This takes up 70% of your budget, right? We always talk about the fancy things, but we always forget managed services takes up 70% of your budget. What can we do to free up 10 to 15% of your budget from your run operation and feed it to the imagine and change initiatives? And that's what we call as next-gen managed services. A philosophy that moves from SLA-based to outcome-based. A philosophy that moves from classical run books to more of automation, in fact, hyper-automation at scale. Bring in IPs and technologies that can help you transgress to the next level. Finally, next step now means, or next is now, will give you the digital dexterity, and to do that, you need to run better through process experience. You need to build better and change faster using industry experience, technology experience, and data experience. And you need to imagine keeping the customer service and the physical and the meta in mind. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are Tech Mahindra. We are a $5 billion IT services company. Out here in UAE, we have been in existence for more than 15 years. I can see many of our customers here. Thank you for your endorsement and support. 4 things that you should remember us for. And if you have any projects, please reach us. First, digital transformation. So anything touching the 5, cloud, AI analytics, big data, managed services, blockchain, cybersecurity. The second thing is on enterprise solution at scale on cloud. Your ERPs, your CRMs, your supply chains, and the human capital. Third and not the least is the business process services, and we are talking about 70 to 80% bodification and taking you that journey. Once again, we would like to thank IDC for hosting this event. It is such a welcome change. It's so nice to see the room packed. To all the dignitaries who have graced this occasion, to the CIOs and the IT managers who are here, thank you so much for your endorsement. I'm sure we will have a packed 3-day full of knowledge and insights. We have a booth next door, so look forward to connecting with you. And before I leave you for the break, just a 1-minute video to wrap up. Thank you.